when really doctors do dumb things. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Marinda Nelson. I'm on a mission to help doctors, healthcare providers, physicians love their work again. We know that happy, healthy, well, engaged providers are the ones that we want to see as patients on a health journey. They are the resources that we are looking for. Also, after 20 years in the healthcare field, I know that those of you that are the most caring and compassionate are often also the ones that are the most burned. So I help you eliminate that burnout, develop, lead, and expand that fun and fulfilling and prosperous and profitable dream practice. So today we're breaking down those two categories that I see in my clients where they are keeping themselves stuck in this burnout cycle and disassociated and not loving their work. I know there were so many days that I went to work that I was nauseous, that I didn't want to go, that I didn't want to be there. And this is a thing that we joke about and we tease about, but it's also real and it doesn't have to be that way. So the first is that we place our value, or those determining our value and our worth, outside of us. And the second is that we believe that we're stuck. Now, I did both of these things. I recognize these things personally. So I will be speaking about this from a personal place, but also this is very common in my clients. And that's where these two categories came from. Where I started with this, where I noticed that I was doing this, and where this was a light bulb day for me. I had been, this was a big day for me. This was a life altering, life shifting day. I had doubled a small rural clinic's revenue. A particular department in that clinic's, I had doubled the revenue over a year, and it was continuing to be on the rise. Now, when I started at this clinic, they didn't know me, hadn't really had anybody with the kind of experience that I had. And so they weren't used to meeting my salary and pay requirements. And so I had agreed to start for a lesser amount than I was used to making, with the understanding that when I proved myself and when they saw that what I could do, that they would get closer to meeting what I was used to. Or 2 years later, again, doubled department revenue, and they had no extra money to pay me an extra dime. At this time, I was doing a lot of money mindset work. I knew that the knowledge I had and the experience I had, both professionally as well as life, I was learning a lot of things, working on a lot of things, a lot of personal development, a lot of leadership training, a lot of um, entrepreneur training, a lot of different things I was working on at the time, a lot of spiritual, deep spiritual work, spiritual training. And I knew that I had some beliefs and experiences and conditioning and family, ancestral, and community conditioning aspects about money and value and worth in my mind. So I was doing a lot of reading about this at the time. I was doing a lot of studying about this at the time, a lot of research. And I don't remember which book I got it from at this point, but the phrase was, you will never make more than you believe you're worth. You will never make more than you believe you're worth. And that same day, it was the 2 weeks, and I got my paycheck. And I realized that while it was a standard paycheck, a normal amount that I would get, like it wasn't even enough to pay my rent. Like I didn't have a fancy place. It was me and my dog just in some trailer in a field. And I realized that I was letting them my boss determine my worth, what I was worth, what they were willing to pay to me, what financial flow I was allowing to come my way. Now, I also had asked them to set my schedule at a standard time so that I could get a part time job because what I was bringing in from there wasn't enough and I wanted to be able to supplement. But they were moving me around like an early shift or a later shift. And I asked if there was any way we could set like Tuesdays or this, Thursdays or that, so that I could go find another position. No, can't do that. Overtime, great. Like I could work some more. No, can't do that. They were the only of this type of clinic within 45 minutes an hour. And I lived in the mountains. So icy roads in Colorado, back roads at the time. And I had a belief that I couldn't make more. I had done all of the subspecialties. I had extra certifications and skills and talents and abilities, but there were one or two, depending on which way I was thinking of going, sets of initials and credentials that I didn't have. And so while I had many extra, I focused on not having those two and living where I lived. I felt stuck. This was the only place that I could work. This was as much money as I was going to make. And it was like a specialty healthcare position. And this doctor obviously didn't value me or my effort. I knew that other jobs, it had taken 3 to 5, in some instances, people to replace me. Even if they said that I wasn't doing enough, that I should do more, that it's still every time I left a position, they ended up hiring more people. So I knew what I was doing and that I was worth more than I was getting paid. And I didn't know where to go and I didn't know what to do. Now, this is what I help you with. So I help you overcome this feeling stuck. It starts with going back to the beginning and looking at those beliefs. And we do this in pre-leadership work. In Brilliant, that work is called Mirror. It's guided personal reflection to help you know that you determine your worth. Know that you are responsible for your well-being and that you get to be creative and say yes to you and say yes to all of those parts of you. Know that you are a resource on your patient's healthcare journey and that you get to serve from your overflow instead of it depleting you. I help you see that systems and structures can actually be a support to you. This was a thing that I didn't know then. Gosh, this was a much later realization. This now is foundational. Yes. And then we get to this clarity of what you want it to feel like. And from there, what it can look like. Now, yes, you may be in a rural area where there is only the one provider, but there's lots of ways that we can get creative and look at different opportunities and look at things with the skills that you have and the understandings you have and the dreams that you have and the values that you have, where all of these possibilities can happen. So start with, what do you love? How do you want it to feel? Looking at all of your experiences and your skills and your abilities, knowing that who you think you're not supposed to be, that that's probably your specialty and that that is a strength that is there to support you. You determine your worth and you are not stuck. You're not dumb. This is what you were taught, and this is what they need you to believe. This information and you believing this information benefits established corporate healthcare. This is what they were taught to believe. This is coming down. But you are a leader in healthcare. You are here to create something new. So, your next step. is brilliant. I'll see you soon.